This is our May 20th deck breakfast, and James is having sauerkraut, some mixed vegetables kind of things. These are cherry number 9 tomatoes, a new kind of tomato I've never tried, so we'll see how they are. And then cucumbers and red bell pepper. And there's a whole lot of stuff in his fried scrambler sort of thing, not egg. This is an entirely vegan plate, as is mine. Well, I'm not sure about the bread. Mine, I'd have to look at the ingredients on the bread. It's the Silver Hills sprouted Big 16 or something like that loaf. So, but besides that, what I've done is vegan. Now this is the coconut bacon that I made, and I don't know if I really did a very good job, but we'll see what James thinks about that. I gave myself one piece right there, so I can give my opinion on it too. I don't know. I'm trying right now. I have the shiitake ones in the oven, shiitake bacon. We'll see how that works out. And we're having blueberries for dessert. James is having a smoothie, which should be awesome. It's whey protein, the coconut water from the coconut, and Saskatoons. That's it. And I've given him some garlic toast here. This is just the Costco garlic toast made with butter, like from Costco. If he wants it, but I think I've given him enough food there that he shouldn't be interested in this. But this should last him the whole day. He'll be picking away at this, put some of it in the fridge, and yeah, get back to it. So that'll be that. And he'll be out shortly. I'm just having a couple falafels with the hummus. His hummus has some olive oil on it. Mine does not. Probably put up the umbrella for him. He won't like it. Well, we'll see anyway. So the coconut bacon was from this cookbook here, and I tried to follow the recipe quite closely. And I look forward to trying the cassava bacon, because it looks authentically bacon on the cover. So at some time I'm going to get some of that cassava root. It says to fry in vegetable oil, but I won't be doing that. Anyway, so we'll see how that is. So that's that cookbook. And as it turned out, James really liked this. He thought it was that I should recommend it to everybody, because apparently she was a bit of a wasted talent. I mean, she was used as a bombshell, but she was, like, I guess all of her husbands were useless people kind of thing, besides one of them. And she was a bit of an inventor, and really was the one who was, or her and her husband, not the useful one. So they invented Wi-Fi, and then the U.S. government stole it from them. So that's interesting, right? So it might be worth watching. It's called Bombshell, the Hedy Lamarr story. So anyway, James said that's worth watching. This was not. I mostly just worked on the deck, so I really couldn't tell you that much about what it was about, but it was crap. You can come sit down, James.
Okay. Thanks.
And I actually got 8 hours, 44 minutes sleep last night, which is why I'm feeling much better. I'm just back to normal. I've gotten enough work done. I guess my body is not freaked out about, you know, like, I was like the rabbit on Alice in Wonderland. I'm late. And now I'm fine.
That's good.
Yeah. So anyway, watch this one, and I didn't care for it. I watched this one while I was trying to get into that coconut, and I decided, seeing as I want to feed James fresh coconut now, I'm going to need a kitchen hatchet, because those things are really hard to get into.
That's why they use machetes. But yeah.
So
Maybe
anyway,
let me do it. Oh, you got into it.
I got into it.
That's amazing.
I made the food. So it turns out that the young coconut inside, it's a hairy little brown thing. You just got to scrape off that white stuff on the outside, and you get to the hairy little brown thing on the inside.
People don't know.
There you go. Now we know. So then I could figure out what I was supposed to do with it quite simply. So once I got that white stuff off, which took me a long time, I really got to see quite a lot of this movie, because this was a bit of an adventure. But I think with a hatchet I could get into it much more quickly. And I think I want a chopping block, and I want to put two things on either side to kind of be like a vise.
Well, yeah.
Stick it in there, and
yeah.
I think I'm going to get into this no problem next time.
If you told something, it'd be the vise. Well, it actually would be the machete on the vise, and we get blended. But
yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah. Thing to do is keep your hands out of the way.
Exactly.
I still recall that guy we were watching at a documentary. Like, he was just going wham, and then grabbing it.
I know. Or you watch the people in India or whatever. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so this was tough to get into, but then once I got into it, I set this in the blender so it could drain. So I just sat it waiting for it to drip. So I put a little hole on this end too, and then I let the water drain out of it, and I spilt quite a bit of it, but I didn't waste it all. It's in your smoothie. Wow. Yeah, so you're getting all those electrolytes from.
That's good.
Yeah, and. Then once I got it drained and I got more of the shell broken so I could get into it, it was really quite easy to get the flesh out. Like, just loosen it a little bit around the edges and just put your fingers in and tuck it right out. It really wasn't that hard. The hard part is getting into the brown thing.
It's hard to get that stuff. Well, anyway.
And James loved this movie.
It was pretty darn good. It's not as good as the Trailer Park Boys, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, there were a lot of people in there. I was most impressed with, I guess his name must be Odenkirk, eh?
Oh my gosh. I thought he was maybe Jewish or something like that, because he had that Bronx or Queens type of accent.
I don't know, but he's the guy from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. He's Saul from those shows. And he was in this. And it took us forever to figure out it was him, because he had a different accent, a different look, and a different energy. He was awesome.
Yeah. So he's playing a twerpy, twittish, British kind of guy, and he did very convincingly.
Anyway,
it's a very different character. Like
everyone is in
kind
this.
Of like
Everyone
got a lot
up.
of nervous energy, and in Better Call Saul, he's kind of like almost like too laid back by times.
Yeah. So that's that for the movies that we at least sort of watched.
But yeah, his name indicates it's German. It's something like deserted or empty church. Odenkirk. Is that what it was? Let me just see it.
Which one was it again? This one?
Yeah.
There we go.
Let me see.
Anyway, this, I really, really recommend everybody gives this a listen. He touches on a lot of subjects that you probably would never be interested enough to educate yourself on. I know I wouldn't have been. And what really interested me was when he was talking about Jane Wells Webb Loudon and her husband, John Claudius Loudon. So there, at one point, he talks about these guys, and I was just like, wow. And so then I had to do my own further research, and I'm going to continue to research these people because it's very interesting for me. So, I mean, it turns out that John Claudius Loudon was an awesome gardener. and his wife was like both of them were historically important people, and his wife was also a gardener, and they met because she'd written a science fiction sort of novel, which was the first, basically, or one of the first of its kind. So it seemed like prophetic or something, right? So anyway, so he had read this, and then he was interested in her, thought that she was a man because she'd written under a pseudonym or something like that, or anonymously, whatever, not under her name, and looked her up and found out she was a woman, even more interested, and married her. And anyway, I mean, you can look this stuff up for yourself if you care to find out about them, but anyway, she ended up writing a really bad book to try to interest women in gardening. But at the time, I guess it was really popular because it was a very basic kind of, this is how you use a shovel kind of thing, or whatever. Because I guess at the time women did not know how to do any of that sort of thing. So she was writing it for women so that they would actually figure it out. And it was popular. Got women out in the garden, which is terrific. So here I am. So thank you, Jane Wells Weblog. And I'm going to read her science fiction book because I'm very interested in that. It was The Mummy, or A Tale of the 22nd Century.
It's only 100 years away. You better watch out. That's weird, because that's like, when was that? Like early 1800s. Like it got even more fashionable 100 years later, like when they discovered King Tut's tomb.
Yeah, I guess it was the first of its. The mummy thing was the first. That was the first mention of a mummy or whatever. And
okay.
Yeah. So
it'd be more like 50 years later.
A bit of a pioneer for these sort of things, or trendsetter maybe, I don't know, but she started a lot of things. And although they were very talented, they ended up in their lives didn't end up they didn't end up wealthy in the end or anything like that. A lot of the time, people who really make major contributions are not appreciated. They don't make money. They might make some in the short term, but they don't end up well off. Their children don't end up well off. You are born in a certain social circle, and that's where you stay. So, but it turns out with her, she was born in a wealthy family. Her father lost his money, and then she didn't end up making any. Like, really. She was very talented, obviously, and so was her husband. They were awesome. And they knew many languages, and got to do some traveling. I'll let you read all the stuff that I've researched so far, and I'll do further research. But the most interesting thing, I think, about her is she illustrated the gardening books. So beautiful artwork.
You want to show the people at home, or did you show
They can look it up. I mean, you can look it up online. Let's see, where did it, I put where I got the pictures. Oh, the pictures, www.tuttart, PITTURAPURAPOESIA musica.com/2015/Jane-Web-Loudon.html. So you can look at her artwork that way, or you can just type in her name, probably and artwork or whatever, and do a keyword search, and it'd probably come up. And
So her last name spelled like Loudon Wainwright, Rufus Wainwright's father?
I don't know,
I think
but
so.
her name was Webb,
Hmm?
and then she married.
Loudon.
So. Anyway, so that's that. That's all I really wanted to talk about this. Did you want to mention anything that you found particularly interesting about the Bill Bryson book?
There's just a lot of stuff in it that I found interesting.
Yeah,
So
really
I
interesting.
can't really single out too many things. A lot of the stuff I knew already, but then I'm a history major, so
Yeah.
it's interesting stuff. Anyway.
Well, for people like me, I'm pretty much not interested in history at all. I'm interested in large kind of movements or whatever, but not details, which this gave a lot of detail kind of stuff, which I would never have looked this up on my own. Never. I wouldn't have. I know me. I'm not interested in that sort of thing, right? But now I have it in my brain. And it got me interested enough that I started doing my own research on one of the things in here, and I'm going to continue because these people are awesomely interesting to me. So that's that. Do you need me to put up the umbrella? Or
Did you cover all of those
What?
videos and stuff like that?
Yeah. Did you want to talk about them?
Oh, you did Hedy Lamar's thing already.
Yeah, I told them that you said that people should watch it because she was interesting.
Well, I wouldn't say you have to, but
Okay.
you might find it interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I found it very interesting.
There you go.
It's a story that's it's where a woman made a genuine contribution.
Okay, I'm just going to stick this back in. Do you need me to put up the umbrella?
I think it'll be okay.
Okay, so now to try dinner.
Okay.
That's
this
the
is
coconut bacon.
Oh,
so that's the
what
most
that is.
important one
I
to
thought
try.
it looked a bit like bacon.
I'm going to try this and we'll
Oh.
see. That's good. That's really good.
Is it as good as bacon?
I don't like bacon.
Yeah,
I don't know. I would have had bacon as a kid. I just honestly, I don't know.
The weird thing is, it does taste a bit like bacon.
Yeah.
It's amazing how close. What did you put in it?
Oh God! I just put the book away.
Oh.
Maple syrup.
Mm.
Liquid smoke.
Oh, there'd be liquid smoke as much as anything. Yeah.
Paprika.
Mm. Anyway,
Tamari.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's it.
It's a liquid smoke. I think. It's crazy.
Okay, and now I'll try one of these little tomato. Cherry number 9. Wow, that's sweet. Try one of your tomatoes. It's like eating candy.
Very sweet, yeah.
You like a sweet tomato, cherry number 9. Wow. And it's just sauerkraut. It must be Madison. I haven't heard her in a long time.
Yeah, I've heard a smaller dog.
Yeah.
I'll just check.
I just dropped a bunch of olives on the ground. It's sad. Delicious. Yeah, I love this hummus recipe that I got from that Healthy Herbivore book. Well, I changed it a little bit. But she used miso, so I got to use my nice dark miso that I love. And honestly, I don't know if I would have thought about putting miso in hummus on my own. So I'm so glad I came across that recipe.
Yeah, Walter or Madison, whatever, is keeping a low profile. I didn't see anything on it. Olive pit. Well, that's not nice.
No, I mean, these were sliced olives, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sad I missed the commentary on Eddie Lamar.
Oh, I just said what you told me.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to make sure the dogs went outside. Hope he was saving up to do a revenge defecation. He didn't want to go out. When he did go out, he produced royally. So. It's pretty sobering.
I don't know. It's not that he's a street dog that he does that. It's just that he's a boy dog. Boy dogs seem to really...
Oh, they get... he was crying.
Yeah,
even before
they
he
get
hit
the revenge thing really going up.
He was crying like a baby. It's funny when people eat bacon, they think they're tasting meat. They're just tasting smoke. Bizarre.
Yeah, that coconut bacon was good.
Yeah, I think that documentary on Hedy Lamarr kind of missed the point a little bit.
Mm.
I mean, they were kind of trying to make it seem as though she'd been crushed because she was a woman.
Mm.
Well, she had her patent stolen by the U.S. Army for something they're still using today. But around the same time, a little bit before, a guy called Leo Szilard,
Mm-hmm.
the S at the beginning of his last name, is spelled S-Z, Hungarian, little Hungarian, Jewish fellow. I think he might have been gay. He's the guy who thought up the chain reaction process. So he was perhaps even a communist, almost certainly a communist sympathizer. And he applied to get a patent on that process.
Wow, that's good.
And the patent office in the U.S. or wherever it was just said, hey, we're not giving you a patent. You got to have the means of producing something with it. Which is basically saying it takes money to make money. If
Well,
you're just a
certainly,
new kid on
wouldn't
the
she
block.
have had money, though? Lamarr.
Not enough to do that sort of thing. So it had defense applications initially.
Mm.
It was a way of coordinating
Boy, that hurts.
messages between a ship and a torpedo that's been sent out. And they still use it now, right? Because they use it with military applications. They use it with stuff that they send up into space, like GPS and things like that. They use it for Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing. Like, this is like almost 80 years down the road, and it's just had all sorts of application. And see, like, she did have money. She blew apparently $2 or $3 million on a movie that she produced on her own.
Mm.
I think the tragedy of her life is not so much that the U.S. Army stole this thing, because when you get ideas like this, you're going to get millions of them. And apparently, she did have other ideas, but I don't know if she gave up on the process or what. But instead of wasting money on movies trying to prove that she was a good actress, and she might well have been a good actress, I don't know. The stuff we see is where she's being directed by crummy 40s, 50s type of directors, right? They're not interested in acting, they're just interested in